is Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I liked this.
It's a good game.
This is a lot of fun.
I've learned many things. This game is fun, the grid's fun, and I have a crush on Rita.
I have learned things about myself from this show, and that's that I really love co-op board games.
Yeah.
Like they have become my jam. Like my favorite games that we've played on this show in recent history have been the ones that have been co-op games.
Well,
like just straight up co-op
The best
games.
board games are just puzzles that you're figuring out. And a puzzle that you're figuring out with a bunch of friends is so much more fun.
Instead of trying to figure out a puzzle faster than everybody else does.
Yeah.
But this one, Tiny Epic Dungeon, Return to Dark Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Like, those have been the ones that have gotten me really jazzed lately.
Yesterday we played the Bloodboard card game, which was a lot of fun. And it's co-op, but kind of not, because you can still do damage to one another, but you are all doing the same, like trying to take out monsters.
Nice.
What do you guys think? What do you think of this game?
This game is great.
A lot of fun.
It's just difficult enough. I like it.
I always worry about these kinds of games, like the licensed games, how good they're going to be, especially when they come in giant boxes, so you know they're very expensive. But this one, like, all the pieces are great. The mechanics are great. You know, it's not like what was it, the Gargoyles game that we played that was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But that was like $15 or whatever, so that's fine.
I think it was 30 or 35.
Ugh.
But this one I think is a bit pricier.
Yeah, from the size of the box, I can tell it's expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything about it, I would say, is worth its price.
Yeah, if Pandemic stresses you out too much, I feel like this is a good middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel a little easier than like a Pandemic.
It's like a Forbidden Desert sort of level, which I like.
Yeah.
Where it's like if everybody's just in the mood to relax, have a fun board game night, as opposed to like, oh my god, we're all gonna die all the time. This is great.
There are additional rules that we didn't play with because it was our first time. There are effects on all of these location tiles. Some of them help, some of them hinder. So some locations you're gonna get a bonus, but some locations you're gonna get stuff getting in the way.
What's that one say?
That one says,
For each ranger in this location has their maximum hand size reduced by 2. Excess cards are immediately discarded.
Oh,
Ow.
That's a piss.
so that's something to make things a little tougher.
That's a jar of warm piss right there.
There is...
How long did it take you to get that jar, sir?
So 1 hard count.
No, the question you should be asking is, why is it so warm?
There's also a B-side to the Command Center module.
What's that do?
That introduces Command Center Assault Mode, a challenging high-threat game mode. In this mode, when an enemy would be deployed to a panicked location, they are placed in the Command Center instead.
Ooh.
Whenever the boss is deployed, they and all foot soldiers that are part of the deployment are always placed at the Command Center. If there are any enemy figures remaining at the Command Center at the end of the action phase, the Power Rangers lose.
Oh, wow.
In that scenario, you gotta beat Rita on the turn that she shows up.
How? You can't.
Because she's going
you have
straight
to just
into
do
the command.
multiple
Yeah, you gotta do multiple battles. Because she's going straight to the command module, and if you don't clear out the command module, that's game.
Unlock the door.
And then there are all the expansions that you can introduce as well. So there's more to this game if the base game gets a little bit too easy once you've played it a few times. Which is the thing about co-op games. You kind of want them to be challenging enough that you're not going to win the first time you play it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you do, hopefully it was still challenging enough that you're not bored of it. But once you're beating it regularly, then you're like, okay, well, how can I make it harder on myself? Because that's the replay factor.
Yeah.
And I think that this game has a lot of replayability, especially when you take into account all those expansions that would
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
change
play the
things up.
Tommy expansion. I want to see how the Green Ranger plays.
Yeah. Yeah, this is cool. I like this game a lot.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ying makes a good game.
Did you look it up?
Yeah.
And
Makes
it's
Splat Attack
Nickelodeon Splat Attack and yeah.
Credits
Yeah,
include
Zeo Rangers.
Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this is a good game.
And I think the Doom board game. Which
Yeah, the Doom.
This is a good game, and it makes me want to play more of his
Imperial
games.
Assault.
I felt like Nickelodeon Splat Attack was a solid first draft and needed a little bit more work than it got on release.
Yeah.
But this game is solid. This game is real solid. This was a lot of fun.
I like it. It was fun.
Okay, just linked to the
Scenarios?
whole Power Ranger. There's a bunch of scenarios for the game.
that sounds
Oh,
fun.
damn.
Hold on, I
How
gotta
does
look
that
at
work?
that. What does that mean?
Monthly
Monthly.
scenarios.
Monthly
Scenarios.
scenarios.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Narrative-driven
those are badass,
scenarios for this game.
Download the scenario for free.
This is like what was
Number
that?
24.
What was that that mystery game we played?
Chronicles of Crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that, except these are all like licensed monthly release things. How does this work?
Well, it's narrative. I assume there's just
Scrambles the Ranger's powers.
yeah. I imagine there's like stuff you read and like
That's
adds a little
So
narrative
it's probably
stuff.
just
Fun.
like pre-set up stuff and like special rules that follow
Yeah.
whatever the
You
narrative.
probably
Interesting.
you set up the board in a specific way,
Oh,
and there's like
specific win and lose conditions.
yeah
Yeah.
it changes the win and lose.
Well,
conditions.
there's some replayability.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Neat.
That's super cool. This game is well worth it. I would play this again for sure, especially knowing
Just
that.
for this mini. Look at this pig. Look at him.
Okay, my question for the chat: does he taste his own arms?
He has
He's
to.
gotta. They're coming out. They're his tusks.
Yeah. Well, he at least tastes his shoulders.
Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. Pick it up from Renegade Studios. This is worth it.
Yes,
This is
it's
a good one.
game.
I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
I don't know if this is
Fun.
playable solo.
Oh no.
Multi-handed.
There are rules where you play. You basically just control multiple Rangers. So I guess it would be playable solo in that case, but I don't know that you would want to.
I mean,
I want to look
I
actually.
would feel like that would take out most of the actual gameplay.
It definitely feels like it's meant to be
cooperating.
played 5 players.
And it would just be a brain
There-
burner trying to like
Yeah.
manage all the hands because you're trying to set up combos. like we had that chain that with
Yeah.
like 3 people. Like
Yeah, they have alternate rules for 2, 3, and 4 players. For 4 players, place 2 action tokens and 4 energy tokens instead of 3 on the command center board. During the game, the 2 action tokens on the command center board represent additional recover actions that are available to the entire team. So the recharge thing that you do without going back to base.
Oh, and apparently some of the scenarios add solo modes.
Ah, okay. That's cool. Any ranger may flip one of those. Okay, yeah. And then 3 players, you get 3 action tokens. With 2 players, you get 3 action tokens and only 2 energy tokens on the command center board, and each player controls 2 rangers at the same time using a single combat deck. So you like shuffle all their cards together or
That's
something?
interesting.
That
interesting.
seems
Yeah, that's an
weird.
interesting way to handle that.
Board Game Geeks community definitely recommends this as a 5-player game, and I get that.
Yeah.
This definitely feels like that's how it's meant to be played.
Yeah.
Which makes you feel like it fits the theme. It makes you feel
Yeah.
like you're Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's good this way. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. If you want to spend more time with us, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, head on over to twitch.tv/BNB Tabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And we like to keep things interactive. You guys can influence what happens throughout the course of a game with our Buff and Nerf house rules. You can also make predictions on how things are going to pan out, play virtual bingo for a chance to win a free board game of your own, and heckle us and stuff from the chat. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you Sunday night.